My name is Kevin Duckworth. I describe myself as a financial raconteur. I tell stories from the world of money. I've spent most of my life in the financial world, and I'd like to share some of my stories and experiences with you about what that world is really like. I have a varied programme of talks with a financial undercurrent that look at the way money impacts on the world in general and our lives in particular. In my experience, most talks about money have been dry and dull or trying to sell me something, and when I've been particularly unlucky, both. So let me break that mould, take a light look at everything from the rise of China to the threat of financial criminals. My own story dates back to the early 80s. I set off from Liverpool with a car and a sleeping bag, and through a strange and funny set of circumstances, ended up getting a job in the financial heart of London, the city, the very next day. My main talks are as follows. The city, should we love it or hate it? A look at the human face of the city. This tells my story, how I was recruited into sales in the city, and gives an insider's view into the world of financial sales, and here I tell stories that show why people behave like they do and the sort of amusing situations that arise in this world, as well as a serious comment on the behaviour and values of the financial sector. In my second talk, I list the question, are you being scammed right now? Criminals targeting your money. I look here at the frightening lengths criminals will go in order to get their hands on your cash, and look at some of the most outrageous financial criminals in history. More down to earth, I look at steps we can all take to be safer and look after ourselves in the modern age. My third talk looks at customer service. It's entitled Are You Being Served? And it's financial customer service horrors and others. If you asked most people whether they thought they were actually being served, I think most would say no. Here I look at some teeth-gnashing examples of awful customer service that we all seem happy to tolerate in our busy lives. I look not only at the financial world, but across other industries too. But there is a glimmer of light, and I show why a very small number of firms actually seem to get customer service right, and why that's the case. Now this particular talk has a global theme. It's entitled, Has the West Had Its Day? The Rise of China, and Should We Be Frightened? It is a global theme here, and there's no doubt that one of the most fascinating and astonishing stories from the last century and into this has been the rise of China as an economic superpower. And I look here as to whether this is an opportunity for the West or a threat. Should we be frightened, with perhaps more than our livelihoods at risk? Now this talk is entitled Won't Get Fooled Again, Will We? And this is financial bubbles past, present and future. Here we look at financial crises and bubbles from hundreds of years ago right up to the present day. Everything from tulip bulbs to dot-com entrepreneurs. And I ask the question, do we ever learn anything from the past? And what may be the next financial bubbles just sitting there waiting to burst yet again? Now my final talk is a national obsession. It's entitled, Has Money Killed the Beautiful Game? Football and Cash. There's no doubt that when you try and look at the amount of money involved in the beautiful game of soccer, that your eyes begin to water. The figures are astonishing. But has this been a force for good, or has accounts and budgets replaced sporting values forever? You can draw your own conclusions as I tell stories and show examples from my childhood and past sporting greats, right up to the pampered modern day stars in their Bentleys and gated mansions. So this range of talks are designed to entertain and inform. Some of the stories are amusing and some more serious, but they all shed some light on the world of money and how it affects us all.